Hey, what's going on? So basically, this video is going to be on things you can't see. You might have a new house, okay, maybe not new, but newer, and you've got this stone or stucco. We're going to do stone, cultured stone, okay? So you walk in the front door, and there's a lot of reasons for that musty odor, right? But we'll just show you one today on the stone itself. You see, the Eaves people had a lot of problems, and Eaves was the stucco, synthetic stucco. And what happened was they didn't drain the rain, they didn't have the proper drainage planes, and so all kind of problems, and class action lawsuits, etc. So then they came out with that stone. I call it lick and stick, stick up, stick it. It's basically cultured stone. There's a name it's a company's name, and I think I got in trouble for using that name. So let's just call it lick and stick cladding, okay? And so this cladding, just so you know, I do have videos on this on YouTube, and I think the people are mad at me and want to sue me for using that word cultured stone. They're saying that they own it. Whatever. So we'll just say lick and stick. How's that? So we'll call it lick and stick. So this is what happens. This is what you don't see. And you walk in a house and it smells like mold and odor. And look at that. That's the OSB rotting. Now, the problem here is you'll see right here where the lick and stick stone is right up against the sheathing. Well, the problem was for about 8 years, all these big, expensive homes and all these developments all over the place. And some aren't that bad, but this is happening to a lot of them. It may take 30 years before you notice it, but your house is rotting from the inside out, and that little odor that you smell. And I'll have other videos at that front door odor or that little musty odor when it rains or somebody complains and other people don't. And so it's because there's no rain screen, drainage plane. Okay, here's one that we did. And generally, you can't fix it. You got this. This is a whole house where we had to tear off the whole front of the house. It's like 35 grand. Here's another view of it, the stone. And they just didn't put it in right, okay? And sometimes you get lucky, and you can see moisture, stains coming out of the outlet. And, of course, use a moisture meter. That's just, me using a meter. So just so you know, you think that this stuff is an absorbent. So that's me dumping 2 gallons of water on the house. Okay, any brick will do this as well. And then that's what it looks like. You can see, I'm sorry about the small teeny photo, but you see the blue, that's a thermal image of what I just did. Okay, and you can see how the brick is getting wet. Okay, so it absorbs moisture, and if you can't drain the rain, in other words, you don't have the proper drainage plan behind it, Tyvek works, and they have other systems you could buy, and then weeping, okay, then if not, it's going to get sucked in and do this, okay? And look at this. So this is rotting. And sometimes at the lower gravity, you can see here where it's completely rotted out, okay? And this stuff gives off odor, okay? And OSB gives off odor. And so a lot of times you go down to your basement and look at that. You can see when you rip out the insulation in the beam pocket, you'll see rotting. I would say the most prone sides are the southern western corners, and sometimes the chimneys that are on those areas. You can't see those, but go down to the basement and pull out your insulation, and you'll see this rotting. Okay, look at that, and that's all rotted on the inside, and you can imagine outside what it looks like. All right, and this is what it looks like, cultured stone. It doesn't happen now. Some of the newer installations are much better, okay? That's more infrared images. And so basically what you can do, and we'll do another video on Eaves. This is a different product, and we'll do a different video on that. But if you smell odor, if you smell mold and see mold, you pretty much got mold, right? What if you smell mold and don't see mold? Well, then you got to think about where it's at. So you can hire an Eaves. The Eaves people they do moisture surveys. And whenever I inspect one of these homes, I tell them they need to do a moisture survey because you don't know, especially if it was built 20 years ago, 18, 15 years ago, or older. So the newer stuff today is better because they know about these problems. But But those guys charge a lot of money to come out and do a survey. You can spend $3,000 easily to test your house for moisture. So what you want to do is when you buy the home, make sure that you can smell. If it smells musty and you're walking into a $300,000, $500,000, $800,000 home, even $100,000 home, you got to say, wait a minute, why does it smell musty? And there's a difference between musty. Is it like old people smell? Is it urine from cats, pets? Is it musty from mold? Is it just dusty, musty type odor? You got to think about it. If it's musty like mold, like a basement, it could just be that you've got high indoor humidity. And go look at the windows, see if there's any stains, from condensation on the windows. Usually, now the condensation happens on the north side, so check it out. If you want to test it, it's kind of tough. The basement, moving the insulation is your easiest because the water goes down. So go into your basement, and if you're drop ceilings and pull them out. I've had to cut holes in people's ceilings to find this stuff because the basements are finished. And I would say the target area to check would be on north sides by doors. Maybe the northwest corner is always a good one. Maybe if you got one of those kick-out fireplace with this culture stone around the fireplace and you get into that area, check that. That's where you'll see predominantly a lot of rot. Or you got to start cutting holes in the ceilings. Anyways, I do provide a call Marco with a question. Just Google it. Marco is a K. And for very low fees, I can try to solve your problem on the phone maybe we could solve your problem before you hire somebody and spend $3,000. And most of the time, people that call me, they call me all over the country for issues. And they're usually problems that people can't solve. I've been doing this for almost 40 years, 18,000 inspections, I wrote books, moisture book on mold, had all kind of licenses on environmental. So Google, call Mark with a question. I'll also provide a few links below on some products that might be relevant to this video. Please rate, subscribe, check out my other videos. And I'll do another one on musty odors when you walk into a house. But this one is about cultured stone cladding, and we're going to call it lick and stick for this. And I won't call it cultured stone on my feed or as the name. Thanks. Hey, take care.